Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss another question that is related to friction and normal reaction. And I hope by doing this you will get something. Let's move on to the question. Two identical wedges, each of mass m, are placed next to each other on a flat floor. A cube of mass capital M is placed on the wedges as shown in the figure. Assume that there is no friction between the cube and the wedges. The coefficient of static friction between the wedges and the flow is mu. The largest m that can be balanced without moving the wedges is given by. So let's move on to see what is said in this question. This question, there are two wedges, and imagine if there are two wedges on a flat surface with a friction, they are just momentarily placed. Then when we put cube m on those wedges, what is going to happen? When there is a force coming from upwards, that means the weight of the cube acting on these wedges will try to move according to the force that is given by the weight of the cube. So the right side wedge will be tend to go right side, and left side wedge will go left side. So imagine there is a friction between the wedges and the flat surface, and there is no friction between the cube and the wedges. When there is no friction between the cube and the wedges, you know that the only force that is acting towards m will be the normal reaction by the surface of the wedge. But when we take the wedge and the flat surface, you know that the wedge is trying to move. Imagine I will take the right side wedge to talk about this situation all the time. You know that when the force is acting on the right side wedge, the right wedge will try to go towards right side. So when it tries to move to right side, the motion is stopped by the friction that is acting towards left side. So they are asking what is the highest value of m uh, that will give the force to move the right side wedge towards right side. So in this question, before we have to move on to the question, we have to take the free body diagrams of these things. Imagine as you see, the wedges are having 245 angles plus a right angle, and then the cube is a square. So the lines and the angles are identical or symmetrical. So if we take the free body diagram of the cube and the right sided wedge, you see that normal reaction between the cube and the wedge is acting right sides towards the cube. And then you know that this n, or the normal reaction, can be divided into two components, which is one of which is acting towards the x-axis and one of which is acting towards the x-axis. So that is R1 and R2. Since these are right angles and the picture or the system that is given in the equation, given in the sum, is symmetrical, R1 and R2 will have 90 degree angles. So that means you see, that means R1 is above and R2 is towards left side. So the central line and the R1 will have a 45 degree angle, and the central line and the R2 force will have a 45 degree angle. And when we divide it into components, the upward component will be R1. You know that R1 is acting from wedge towards the cube, and since there is a left side wedge also, we will get 2 R1 forces. When we take 2 R1 forces, 2 R1 is equal to the weight of the cube. 2 R1 equals mg, so R1 can be taken as m2. That is the first thing we have to do after thinking about what is happening. Then we will move on to the R1 and R2. We look at them further. As I told you, there are 45 degree angles from the central line towards the R1 force and towards the R2 force. So when we divide n into R1 and R2, we can divide it as n cos 45 degree is equal to R2. You see that n is acting right angle to the surface of the wedge, so R2 is in the lower part, so n cos 45 is equal to R2, and then n sin 45 is equal to R1. That is the division of this n force into its components. So after we take n cos 45 into R2 and n sin 45 into R1, as you know, initially we can take R2 as n R2 as n cos 45, R1 as n sin 45. Then we will move on to find R2. How can we find R2? First we have to take n. As I told you in the earlier part, we found R1. Then R1 can be substituted into the second equation here. So when R1 is substituted, you will get n, capital N, as the mg divided by root 2. Then when we substitute n by adding mg over root 2, we can find R2. R2 will also be mg divided by 2. That means those are very simple equations you can get from adding those two equations. You know that sin 45 and cos 45 is equal, and that is 1 over root 2. So R2 was found. Then in this picture, as shown in this figure, I have taken R1 and R2 forces. So you know that when there is a force R2 is acting towards left side. When it is acting towards left side, you know that according to the third law of Newton's, there will be a force that is against the R2 force, and that force is acting towards the wedge. That means that is the force, or the force that is trying to move the wedge towards right side will be in the same magnitude as R2 and the opposite direction of R2. So you know that when we draw the forces according to the opposite side, that means according to the Newton's third law, you know that R2 is acting towards the wedge and R1 is acting downwards. So then after that we have to, now I know the force that is trying to move the wedge. So there should be a friction that should be equal to R2 to stop the wedge. Let's say it again. Now R2 is the force that is acting towards the wedge. That means that is the force that is trying to move the wedge. If we want to keep the wedges identical or the static, there should be a friction force that should be equal to R2 in magnitude. And to find friction force, first of all we have to take the normal reaction that is according to the wedge and the flat surface. So when we consider the wedge, you know that normal reaction will be R3. So R3 acting upwards will be R3 equals mg, simple mg, that is the weight of the wedge. And then R1 is the part that was given by the cube. So the normal reaction that is acting against the wedge will be mg plus R1. As I have found R1 earlier, the normal reaction on the wedge will be simple mg plus capital MG divided by 2. So now I have found R1, R2 and R3. When we have found R3, we can take the friction. The friction should be equal to the force of R2. When it is equal to R2, the wedge can't move right side. So it will be stationary. Then R2 is opposed by friction. That means there should be a opposing force against R2. That is R2 is equal to mg divided by 2 and then friction force. That means I have used the equation such as F equals mu R. F is friction, mu is the coefficient of friction, and then R is the normal reaction. So F, friction force, should be equal to R2, and I have found R2 as mg divided by 2 equals mu, that is the coefficient of friction, and then the normal reaction that is acting on the wedge. So it should be R3. Then R3 is added here. Then by doing this, by making easy this equation, you can see that the final answer will come as mg equals, sorry, mg is not the answer, though g will be cancelled. So capital M, I have mistakenly put a gravitational field there. So capital M answer will be 2 mu m over 1 minus mu. So that is the answer. How did we take the answer? Let's summarize. In this question, they have told us that we can put a cube on two wedges. So force given by the cube will act on the wedge, and wedge will try to move. So when wedge will be trying to move, how are we going to stop the movement of wedge? There should be a friction, or we should apply external force. So here we are not applying an external force, we are only using the friction. So we have to find out the force. We have to find out the force that is R2 given by the cube itself. Cube acting on the wedge will give a R2 force which will move the wedge towards right side. So To stop that, there should be a friction against R2 side and as well as the equal magnitude of R2, and that is the friction force. And when now we are going to use F equals ma equation for the wedge. So we know the external force that is trying to move the wedge, that is R2. And now when we want to use friction, we have to find out the normal reaction. Normal reaction is R3, and then R3 is equal to mg plus R1. mg is the wedge of the cube and R1 is the downward force that is due to the weight of the cube. So we found the normal reaction, and then we found the force that is acting towards the wedge, so the friction should be against that. So friction can be equalized to mu, coefficient of friction, multiplied by the normal reaction. So